All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, it's hard to believe, but it's been 4 years since the Arizona Wildcats have been bound for the NCAA tournament in men's basketball, but that will not be the case here in 2022. The Wildcats are setting the pace in the Pac-12 as they are currently 9-1 in conference play, and Arizona's position in the Pac-12 was further solidified following their big weekend as they knocked off a pair of ranked teams at home as they got the best of both UCLA and USC respectively at the McHale Center. Arizona finds themselves in first place in the Pac-12 as they are 2 games up on Oregon, UCLA, Washington, and Washington State in the loss column. And for first year men's head basketball coach Tommy Lloyd, he walked into a tough position as he had to replace Sean Miller. But you look at what Lloyd has done, a tremendous job. He was a tremendous assistant coach before he got this head coaching gig with the Wildcats. And, he has this team turned around. And, you look at Arizona, led by Benedict Matherin. Arizona has 4 players that are scoring in double digits so far this season. And on top of that, what helps them, they have a lot of size in the front court with the likes of Azulis, Tubelis, Christian Koloko, excuse me, and Umar Balo up front. All of these guys have size. They do a good job in regards to getting rebounds. And that's a big thing for Arizona. And also, it helps with their interior defense. You look at the Wildcats outside of conference, they got that big road win over Illinois. They did beat Michigan. That was before Michigan started their slide. And then on top of that, we saw them come very, very close as well in the non-conference slate to knocking off Tennessee. But they've really held their own since Pac-12 play has begun. Like I said, after losing to UCLA on the 25th of January, they've rebounded. They've won their last 3. They got a big road stretch coming up. It starts tomorrow night against Arizona State. And I know that the Sun Devils have not been doing too good this year. But you know what? At the end of the day, when it's a rivalry, you throw the rules out of the rule book, so to speak. So anything can happen in that game, but nonetheless, after that, next weekend, this coming weekend, the Wildcats will be on the road in the state of Washington, first against Washington State, and then against Washington. And of course, Arizona's already gotten the best of Washington at the McHale Center as they knocked them off 95 to 79. So Arizona, they have not faced Oregon yet, and of course, the Ducks are once again very formidable under head coach Dana Altman. Arizona will host them on the 19th of this month. And for the Wildcats, you look at them, they're definitely going to be NCAA tournament bound. And I think that's big because when you think about what this program was, especially under the glory days of the late, great Lute Olson, and then, of course, for the majority of the tenure of Sean Miller at Arizona, you basically expected the Wildcats to be in the NCAA tournament every year. And the hope when Tommy Lloyd was hired was that he would get them back to that point. And year one so far has been a success. And to the credit of Arizona, they're doing it in a very improved Pac-12 conference. We saw the Pac-12 overall make a very good run in the NCAA tournament last year, and of course that was highlighted by UCLA getting to the Final Four. But nonetheless, it's carried over to this year because there's some darn good basketball being played in this conference. The likes of Arizona, USC, UCLA. You cannot overlook Washington and Oregon as well. Some solid teams out there. But when it's all said and done, will Arizona win it? They've got a very good chance to do that, and I think being up 2 games in the loss column at this point will help their chances. Obviously, a lot could change between now and the end of the regular season. And of course, Arizona wants to keep that momentum going into the Pac 12 tournament and subsequently the NCAA tournament. And when you see Arizona playing the way they are right now, they're 19-2, you would think that it would be a slam dunk for them to get that 1 seed out of the West in the NCAA tournament. Not going to be as easy. Of course, we know what Gonzaga is doing. But at the very least, I think Arizona will be a two seed at this point. Obviously, a lot could change between now and the beginning of the NCAA tournament in about 5 or 6 weeks. But nonetheless, the Wildcats have definitely put themselves in a very good situation. Still, we got some time between now and the end of the regular season, and of course, the start of the NCAA tournament. But Arizona looks very, very good. And for their sake, you're hopeful that they don't cool off and diffuse this momentum that they have going for them. But the way that it's played out so far, you have to like the way that this program has bounced back. You have to like the way that the players have responded to Tommy Lloyd. For Arizona, big things. Like I said, there was a time when you expected the Cats to be a top 10 program every single year. And I think, Tommy Lloyd is the guy to get them back to that. Year one has been a success so far. Let's see if he can keep that momentum going for his program coming down the stretch. But if you're an Arizona fan or a supporter of this basketball team, you definitely have to like what you are seeing. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.